Breaking news. According to American intelligence, a top Russian general was aware of Wagner's mutiny. The New York Times reported late Tuesday that U.S. intelligence relayed by U.S. officials indicated that at least one senior Russian military official, General Sergei Surovikin, knew in advance of Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin's plan to rebel against Russia's military leadership. The United States is still investigating whether or not Surovikin, the esteemed former head of Russian forces in Ukraine, was complicit in last weekend's attempted mutiny led by Prigozhin. For former U.S. Ambassador to Russia Michael McFaul, there were just too many weird things that, in my mind, suggest there was collusion that we have not figured out yet, according to the Times. If Surovikin backs Prigozhin in his bid to depose Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu and Chief of General Staff General Valery Gerasimov, it will show how deeply divided Russia's military leadership has become as the conflict in Ukraine drags on. According to the Times, American officials also said there are signs that other Russian generals may also have supported Prigozhin's putsch in the defense ministry. Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, has placed full responsibility on Prigozhin and must now decide how to respond. According to Carnegie Russia Eurasia Center senior fellow Alexander Bonov, Putin is reluctant to change people. But if the Secret Service puts files on Putin's desk, and if some files implicate Surovikin, it may change. According to the New York Times, American officials have an interest in pushing out information that undermines the standing of General Surovikin, whom they view as more competent and more ruthless than other members of the command. There is no doubt that Ukraine would benefit militarily from his removal. Analyst Boris Kagarlitsky in Moscow told The Washington Post that Putin has bigger problems than Surovikin's possible divided loyalties. Wagner's approach to Moscow was marked by so little support for the regime, Wagner later recalled. The armed forces did nothing. The police officers stood still. People were merely observing. No one made a beeline for the government buildings to lend their support. For an already paranoid Russian president, Gabriel Gavin wrote at Politico, "The fact that nobody seemed prepared to man the barricades in defense of their dear leader is one of a dizzying array of questions to ponder late at night. How did Prigozhin manage to conquer so much ground with so little resistance? And who, if anyone, in his inner circle would have been the first to stab him in the back if they had made it to Moscow?" Putin's suspicion of internal enemies and repression of dissenters will likely intensify, Andrei Kolesnikov of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace told The Post. Yet, the elite, despite the understanding that the system is weaker and alternative forces are possible, will consolidate around Putin, scared of him and his suspicion. Gavin wrote that Putin may have avoided being killed in last weekend's uprising. It gave Russians and the world a glimpse of how, at the right time, he might run out of luck, so he should be very concerned.